Hey guys, and welcome back to Analogue, a hate story. It's time to cast the control on over once again. Last time what did we do? Oh, I know. We got the blocks that, brief pause for spoiler warning, if this is somehow the first episode you're watching, change that. Oh, Hyun-Ae just admitted to her plan of killing everybody, and then admitted to doing it. Yay! And then, we dressed her up as a maid. Decrypt block 7. Is this where we find out how they muted her? I like how she's a mute, but mute isn't muted. Very well. Oops, she's still a maid. These are really hard for me to read. I haven't seen mine since I wrote them, and I haven't seen my family's ever. Well, I think I found here. I've added some. Just please read them. If you want to know the whole story, those entries will explain. There are actually quite a few things we haven't read, because there's just, so many things. I still haven't read the block 1, 3, or 4, but we're just gonna go to 7. Figure either the game will end on me unexpectedly, or they'll reach a point where I can't unlock anything else until I read the more stuff. The Nightmarish Bride. What-oh? What could this be about? Uh-oh. It seems that in the year I spent visiting my parents, everything has gone to hell in my husband's family without his knowing. Clearly, I never should have left. He has an idea, but he just doesn't understand just how bad things have gotten. When I left, it all seemed under control. The pale bride would be of the right age to be married to the emperor soon enough, and we'd be able to use that connection to bring favor to the family. A good plan, except it turns out that the pale bride is not even close to ready for marriage. Age has nothing to do with it, it's the maturity that she lacks. When she first awoke, right before I left, she seemed a little confused, but that was hardly unexpected. She had a whole new family to get accustomed to, and it seemed obvious enough that anyone born so far in the past would have some difficulty adjusting to modern life. But this is far beyond that. There's something simply wrong with that child. How rude. When I got back, the first thing Young Suk's wife did was tell me all about how sorry she was for not being able to control the child. I rolled my eyes, as if a grown woman couldn't handle someone of her age. Isn't there only 2, maybe 3 years difference between them? Dude, what? How are you going to raise my grandson like that? I asked. She was quiet and let me see the pale bride for myself. The first time I saw Young Suk try to get her to do something as simple as sort out his laundry, she wasn't just disobedient, she was openly defiant. When I stepped in to admonish her, it had absolutely no effect. All she did was argue back at me. I tried every approach I could think of, appealing to fidelity, explaining how important a virtue obedience was, even trying to appeal to sentimentality. Everything. She just kept saying the same, that it wasn't fair to make her do it. Here's the obvious concern, and it's what I said to her. Are you going to tell your husband that he's not being fair when he wants something from you? Thought that would put some sense into her, but no, she just answered yes. There's no way this unruly child could possibly be marriageable. Not like this. She'd be sent back within a day. And with good reason. What man could possibly want a nightmare like her in his life? Mother, huh? I don't really know what to say about her, even now. This is the first time I read what she wrote, and it's just, there's more. Here, read them for yourself. You tell me nothing. Boop. The Pale Bride. Dear Diary. The good news is, health-wise, I seem to be doing much better this month. I'm sure this isn't a permanent thing. It's happened before. I can't really remember how the doctor from the past explained it anymore, but he said it's pretty normal and not something to get my hopes up about. Still, some days this month, I actually had enough energy to want to move around. Not that I could move around, of course. I can't leave the house. A good girl shouldn't, is what everyone keeps saying. But I have the energy to, at least, and that's something. The big news is that the woman who's supposed to be my adopted mother came back. I didn't really see her much before she left. I might as well have been meeting a new person. I wish I could say I had high hopes for her, that I thought maybe she'd be fine. That'd be a lie, though. I knew she'd be as bad as the rest the moment I saw her. And she was. Of course she was. She's even worse than sister-in-law. She gives these awful lectures. I can't even describe them. They're horrible. She's that horrible. Mother, huh? Oh, you're just gonna say the same thing. You wrote this. That's not what she wrote. That's what she wrote. Independent woman. If you're so worried, why don't you just explain everything to her simply and rationally? Young's to ask me. My response was obvious. She's a woman. We're not particularly rational. Ha ha. But I'm Dutch. Play the laugh track. He said, you know what I mean. I could hardly do it, but coming from one, perhaps she will understand that it's all for her own good? Maybe, I said, doubting it. But I tried anyway. She took her time arriving after I summoned her to my room. Can we speak? I asked her, trying to keep my voice calm. She glared, then snapped, fine. I asked her to sit down, but she refused. Look, I said, trying to speak to her as an equal. I still didn't think my husband was right, but it was worth trying. I've been told you'd rather be called Hyun-Ae. Is that right? She said yes, bitterly, not giving me much to go off. That's a very pretty name, I said. Thanks, she asked, but her voice was still unfriendly. My parents gave it to me. I said, you must miss them very much. She nodded. I don't understand, Hyun-Ae. Were you this so difficult with them, too? No, she said. They were nice. They actually cared about me. They're nothing like you people. I sighed. I care about you, Hyun-Ae. You're part of the family. You're a Kim. Your parents are our ancestors, and I know they'd think it's very important that we raise you right. If you want to be a bad, unfilial daughter and treat us without any respect, well, you wouldn't be the first. Do you really think an old woman like me cares that much about your opinion of me? I thought maybe I'd try appealing to her selfishness. Her marriage is important to the family, but clearly she doesn't care about fidelity. It's you I'm worried about. Do you think any husband is going to put up with you the way you are, even for a second? She kept glaring at me. That's all you keep talking about. Marriage, marriage, marriage. I'm 14 years old. What's wrong with you? Why does everything have to be about some man? Why'd I have to marry somebody that you picked? She screamed at me. I remained calm. You're going to be a royal concubine, Hyun-Ae. We're not dumping you off on just anyone. There's no better man. I don't know if you were already engaged in the past, but your parents would do the same if they could. It's what's best for you. They would want this. No, they wouldn't, she shrieked. They wanted me to grow up. They wanted me to be an independent woman. How many times is that going to happen? That's what Mom and Dad thought was important. I don't want to be a concubine. I don't care about marriage. An independent woman. They wanted you to be a whore. So that's what they think that means. I asked, my patience run as thin as anyone's would be. I didn't believe for a second that my husband's ancestors were the monster she was making them out to be, and was sick of this. Get out, I snapped at her. Just get out. Societal confusion. Are you just showing me that because you want to see more from her? I'm gonna save. Only one more save point left. That's not why. Yeah, I didn't think so. I don't know what to say. She was cruel. So cruel. Now that I've read her perspective, it doesn't change anything. Fine. She actually believed what she was saying. That doesn't make any of it right. I hate her. I don't care if she's long dead. I don't care if I was the one who did it. I still hate her. I 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 hate her. Oh jeez. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to work myself up like that. It's just you don't pity her, do you? A little. I pity her for being so uneducated. Ugh. I saved first. I'm going to say a little, and if I do piss her off, we're going to go back and change. I remember mentioning that I wanted to commit, but now I want to actually get an ending, some sort of ending. What? Don't pity her, pity me. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe she was like me once. Maybe she wasn't always terrible. Maybe she did just get worn down like I did. But if that excuses what she did to me, well, I don't think it does. I think she had a choice. But if it does, then surely what I did was just as forgivable. If you can forgive her for what she did to me, then you have to forgive me for what I did to them. At least the people I wanted to hurt weren't innocent. At least there's that. Her excuse? What did I ever do to deserve such cruelty, even if she did believe everything she said? I can't forgive her. I can't pity her. I still hate her. We're just gonna load this. Yes, we are. I want to see what happens if I just say yes. Oh, well, in that case, there's nothing I can do. She didn't really write about me that much. There's nothing of hers in here that's really relevant. You've seen it all. Sorry. That's kind of what I expected to happen there. Yes, I know. We're seeing everything now. Yes, I know you hate her. Oh, geez. I don't. Good. Me neither. That's what I had to live with. Reading what she wrote, she honestly believed that. It just reminds me of how I ended up thinking. How I completely gave up and believed her attitude. She tried to wear me down. She succeeded. She doesn't deserve pity, and I didn't deserve what she did to me. I could never forgive her. Ever. I'm really glad you understand. Sorry, I've calmed down now. It's just hard to think about even now. I really do hate her. I kind of prefer the one where I said I pity her, but that's okay. We're just gonna commit. What's next? The new anxiety. Ha ha. Dearest Mother, my mother-in-law has relieved me of any responsibility for looking after the pale bride. As a matter of pride, I feel bad that such a simple child is too much for me to handle, but I'm certainly glad she's not my problem anymore. Now I can put my undivided attention back where it belongs, onto my husband and his ambitions. Tell me, though, Mother, because I know we didn't always get along that well. I was never that bad, was I? Sure, we were both happy when I moved out. Well, perhaps I wasn't happy right away, I was more scared, but I'm sure we were relieved to have some space. But you would never have given up on me, right? I was never that bad, was I? Deep down I worry. My husband seems content to take his time to have children, and which is just a decision I can certainly live with. But what about when we do? What if we have a daughter? Will I fail her too? I've been telling myself that it's not me, it's her. She's a particularly unruly child, and it's not ordinarily that bad. It's not, right? Please tell me I have nothing to worry about. Please. You know, I never did like her. I've kind of gotten that impression. I mean, you did kill her along with everybody else, and if you liked even one person left on that ship, I'm sure you would have thought it over. When I woke up, she was just this awful person who kept saying the most awful things. Never as bad as Mother, but still. I didn't read any of her letters when I was alive, of course, but you know what really surprised me? She made such an awful impression on my life. I hated her the most for so long, and she barely even mentioned me. All my suffering was just a minor distraction to her, nothing more. Insignificant compared to her man. I've known a few people like that. Well, not this bad, of course. This is fictional. There's one more from her that you should read. I don't know how to feel about it. I don't know how to feel about her. There's just one thing that I kept thinking, though. Just one thing. I have no idea what her name was. That's so sad. She's just Young Seok's wife. I never noticed that. Oh, she doesn't get a name? I'm gonna skip to the new promise, because I'm intrigued now. I am intrigued. Dearest Mother, today the pale bride finally left home to live with her new husband. As she isn't a primary wife, there was no fanfare or ceremony for her departure itself, so instead last night we had a special big feast to commemorate. I know I've said bad things about her before, but it's not just that I was happy to see her gone. She's been better since mother and father-in-law managed to keep her quiet. Managed to get her to keep quiet. Does that mean you don't know how they did it? The thought of it still leaves me really uncomfortable. She was always just a confused child. I hate the fact that my family considers her so important and neglects my husband, and I certainly hate her for not appreciating that status and fighting it. But the fact that she doesn't understand the world, I can feel for that. It's not like I always understand myself. Regardless, it went very well. The big feast was my idea, and she was happy to help with the cooking. Earlier, she had spent the afternoon getting ready the dress she was going to wear when she arrived with mother-in-law, and she seemed rather anxious about it. While we cooked, I opened the wine early and poured it for her. I think she needed it. I told her the same story I told you a while ago, about how scared I was when I first moved in. It seems as though it was a lifetime ago, and yet despite all the strangeness, I have grown so accustomed to it. You'll eventually grow to love him, I promised her, just as you promised me all those years ago. Appreciate how good you'll have it. I don't really have any more to say about her. Okay. Don't know what I expected, but I expected something. Drastic measures! Now I'm kind of glad I skipped ahead, because I'm pretty sure that if this is drastic measures, it's probably going to include what muted her. The pale bride picked the worst of all possible days to throw another of her childish fits, refusing to even get dressed for her interview. This one was with the Emperor himself. Not even my husband was able to get her to listen. He had to personally apologize himself for not being able to bring her as scheduled, and lied about a sudden illness. You have to do something about her, I said to my husband that evening. She's completely out of control. I can't wait to see how terrible they are. I know, he said, that is quite clear. He looked so worried. I hugged him and tried to comfort him. Everything would fall apart if something couldn't be done. She'd threatened to say something stupid and dangerous to the Emperor, and we were both scared that she might. Oh no, in opinion. Maybe it's time to consider doing something drastic, I said to him. He nodded. I know. I can only think of one idea. I do not like it. I would rather not. Even hitting her was far worse than I would have wanted. He explained his idea to me, and I agreed that it was terrible, and I didn't like it either, but it would stop her from arguing, stop her from ruining her own life. My husband was, as always, right. There was only one way. Dun, dun, dun! There was one big fight I had with her. The one that changed everything. The one I finally lost. My diary makes it sound really dramatic. I know, I was young at the time, but it really was. Just read it. It's exactly how it went. Dun, dun, dun. I mean, there's peace at last. My last stand. Dear diary, everything managed to spiral out of control so quickly today. I wasn't planning on it happening this way, but here's the point where I make my stand, I guess. It sounds dramatic, but I won't just let them marry me off to some stranger. I won't let them. Just before dinner yesterday, Mother told me that I had to go do an interview with some man. The Emperor, I guess, for all I care. The way she put it was, I'd get a chance to say that he's the man you could fall in love with, or something like that, as if, I said in response, and I spent the rest of the evening thinking about what I could do to make it clear to them that I wouldn't let them do this. This morning, after breakfast, sister-in-law showed up in my room. Good morning, she said. Today's a big day for you, isn't it? Mother-in-law wanted me to help you get dressed and all made up. You'll want to make a good first impression, after all. I glared at her, summoned up all my courage. No, I said. What? She asked. No, I'm not going. I'm sorry, that just sounds like something so cliche. Just, I'm not going. Cross your arms and stamp your foot. She left, and her mother herself came in. This was it, I told myself. This was the big moment. I'm not going, I said before she could say anything. I'm not going to get dressed up. I'm not going to meet him, and I'm definitely not going to get married. I shouted. For a moment she said nothing and didn't move. Then she left too without saying a word. I thought that would feel good, but it didn't. It just made me worry more. I couldn't have possibly won that easily, I thought. And I had, of course. Of course, with a T. After a few minutes, she returned with her father, who looked incredibly angry. With father. Not her father, just father. Min Young says you refuse and get ready for your interview, he said. Yeah, I stammered, not used to talking to him. I won't go, and I won't get married. Dun, dun, dun. Sorry, I'll stop that. He walked over in just 2 strides, then glared at me for a second. I had no idea what he was going to do. Then he slapped me in the face so hard that it knocked me over. Yes, you will, he said. I'll drag you there kicking and screaming if I have to. My face in so much pain, I forced myself to sit back up. I won't, I said, bracing myself for if he hit me again. He did. Yes, you will, he said. I couldn't keep this up. It already hurt so much, I just couldn't brave that out. Then it came to me. If you make me do the interview, I'll tell the Emperor that you've been conspiring behind his back. It was all I could think of, and all I could do was cross my fingers and hope that the threat worked. It had to. He glared at me, and in that moment I knew. It worked! The two of them looked at each other, then they both left together. That was 3 hours ago. I don't know what's going to happen now, and I think my face is swollen. It still hurts, and I didn't want it to go that way. So that's me, making my stand. I'll get to that, but for now, please just look at everything else first. What a way to avoid having you to comment on the thingamajigger. Peace at last. This blank spot is worrying me. But, here we go. Recently, the Pale Bride's temperament has improved immensely. It isn't simply that she's now quiet, it's that she's actually respectful, calmer. After rescheduling, she had an interview with the Emperor, and he was actually quite charmed with her. I'm just so happy for her own sake that she's finally stopped resisting the marriage. It's all coming together now. A date has been set for when she'll be sent to live with him, and in the meanwhile, things at home have been peaceful again for everyone. Actually, it's better than just that. I've been spending more time with her of her own free will. I've been giving her advice for coping with the marriage, and now the girl actually listens politely. Otherwise, there's little else to write about. I wish there had been a better way to get her to behave, but in the end, it seems to be working out. I still can't imagine how awful it would be if she'd refused to ever leave the home and simply made life hell for us, or worse, if she got sent off and tried to pull any of that on her husband. She'd get sent back for sure. Maybe now things will finally start to come together for the family. I must admit for a time I doubted the optimistic that young Stu expressed in the 319th year, but now it seems that he was right all along. What a relief. Of her own free will. I can't believe she actually said that. It's wrong. It's completely wrong. I can't believe she could have possibly thought that. Just unbelievable. Oh. Click. You've read almost everything now. I know you've had faith in me, and I promise it hasn't been misplaced. There's just one more thing. I don't think you'll be surprised. You seem smart. I'm sure I'm sure you've already guessed what it is. Still, go ahead. Ask it. Ask me the obvious question. What am I supposed to be asking? I'm just gonna save again. Last spot, I guess. I'll start overwriting the first ones. Go ahead. Ask it. Ask me the obvious question. How? Like, really? Is it one of Mute's questions that I have to do again? Why did I kill them? Here, you want to know what could make me look at my father's face and be filled with so much hatred? You want to know how I could possibly think my whole family deserved to die? If you haven't already guessed, here's my last diary entry. I can't say it myself. I can't bring myself to, even now. Please, just read it. Oh. This is gonna be quite sad. This is gonna hurt, 'cause it's probably really bad. This is gonna be the wrong book. Forever silenced. Oh, my heart isn't ready. And I thought I wasn't ready last time with the Queen's death. Okay. Forever silenced. Dear Diary, the evening where everything went wrong, where I thought I was going to win with my adopted parents, well, I didn't. I lost. Making my stand, I wrote just hours before it happened. Yeah, right. Uh-oh. I think it might be worse than I thought. I think I might have been right. No! When I got called into the kitchen, they were both there. On one of the stove burners, there was a knife. I thought it was a little odd, but didn't care. Father stared at me and then said, "The fighting needs to end now." He was so sure of himself. Of course he was. He had every reason to be, but I stubbornly stood my ground. I said no. "I do not want to hurt you," he lied. "Just promise to be less argumentative and this can end peacefully." But I just had to fight back. I just had to say no. I just had to remind him I wasn't joking. I really will tell the Emperor that you hurt me and that you plotted against him. "No," he said, "you won't." He motioned at Mother and said, "Bring her over." She grabbed me, and I tried to dig my feet in, but it didn't work. Then Father pinned me against the wall with his whole body, and I kicked and screamed, desperately trying to get free, but it was no use. I'm not okay with this, guys. I'm not okay. Oh my god, why couldn't this have just been a horror game? Instead, it's ruining me with my emotions. He was big, and I was small and sick and weak and frail. Then he grabbed the knife from the stove, and I shrieked in horror. "No," I screamed at him, "don't." But then Mother grabbed my mouth and held it open. I can't. Sorry, guys, we're gonna take a quick break and read literally anything else. Oh, no. Oh, no. I thought that it couldn't possibly be this bad. I thought that they couldn't have actually done it because the Queen would have noticed that her tongue was gone. Surely someone would have noticed while she was eating or drinking. Literally anything. I was wondering if they had like some herb that scalded her throat so that she couldn't talk, but no, it's much more obvious than that. Oh god, guys. Who made this game? Christine something or other? I am very mad at you right now for the emotions that you've put my soul through. Very mad. But then Mother grabbed my mouth and held it open. I tried to keep screaming, but I was powerless and terrified. When he raised the knife towards me, I thought he was going to kill me. It was worse. I can't. The next thing I knew, I could taste disgusting flesh as he stuck his fingers in my mouth and pulled. "I'm sorry," Mother said, then briefly I could taste the steel. No. This is literally one of my worst nightmares. Guys, I have had so many dreaded nightmares of this ever since I watched The Mummy. Yeah, that's the one part of The Mummy that freaked me out, that movie. It wasn't any of the actual mummy things, the decayed bodies, or the screams, or the gas, or the people with their life force sucked out of them. It was the part in the beginning where they hold him down and start to cut out his tongue. That was the part that got me, because I don't know if you've noticed, but I quite like to talk, and I like to taste food, and I'm freaking out right now. I'm literally not even able to look at my laptop screen. I am looking out my window at a middle school field, which I'm just realizing is not that much younger kids than she is now. There's no kids out there, thankfully, but that's still my brain's thought process. I'm so upset, guys. I said this. I said, they probably didn't cut out her tongue because the queen would have noticed. Nope, I'm right. I'm smart, and I'm right, and I got to the correct conclusion and then found a way that it would be wrong. I found a plot hole that I was right. Then nothing but blood. All I could taste was so much blood, nothing but blood. They cauterized the knife. That's why it was on the stove. I don't know if any of you know that, but if you heat the metal up, it cauterizes it and it burns it shut and it fuses the blood things, and I'm so upset. I just have to check to make sure that my thing is recording, because this is the kind of thing that you don't get the same reaction for twice. Nothing but blood. Finally, they both let go of me, and I collapsed onto the floor. Why, I wanted to say, but couldn't. I blacked out from the pain after that. But just before I did, I could swear I heard my father say, you will not argue with any man, ever again. Well, I added the ever. He was right, of course. My throat, my emotions are in my throat, and it's making my voice different. I don't want to click on this, because I know what she has to say. That's why. That's why I gave up. That's why I wanted to kill them so much. Sorry, it's really hard to talk about. I bet. You could literally never tell anybody about that because, hello? No tongue. I will admit one thing, though. The tongue is integral for a lot of sounds, but it's not used in all of them, is it? Couldn't she have strung something together in front of someone? She could just scream in their faces. I would have done that. What more can they do? Kill me? Just sit down to the emperor, smile, a beautiful smile, open your mouth, show him the stub of your tongue, and scream. Then he won't marry you. He might even get mad at your family. All the problems are solved. I mean, you're about to die anyway from illness. Might as well get an early knife to the heart. Clearly, I have a different set of priorities than Hyun-Ae. It's just, I'll try, I'm sorry. I told you it'd make sense, right? That there was a good reason? Please, tell me you don't think that I've let you down. Like I said, I would have just screamed bloody stump tongue murder, but okay. In one of the reviews for this, it mentioned that the choices get very tough because it's very black and white and you need a gray. I need a gray. You haven't. I haven't? You mean you understand then? Sure, why not? Let's just commit to this. I'm just happy you haven't murdered me yet. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much. That really means so much to me. I'm so glad. I don't know what I'd do if you didn't think. Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I was terrified, so terrified. I thought you might not. I'm so glad. Thank you. Thank you so much. And you're dressed like a maid for all of this. Hey, could we just talk a little more instead? There's, something really important I need to, tell you. Dun, dun, dun. I'm gonna put you in your regular clothes for this, just to be nice. I kinda wanna put her in the handbook just to be really cruel, but no. Okay. Change outfit. Schoolgirl. Quit. I should download some logs. Just because that's the kind of thing I'm supposed to do, isn't it? Download. Starting active systems download will permanently terminate session. No. No files be transferred. Quit. I know what I'm supposed to do as the, salvage wreckage person. Find what happened. Send it to the historical science thing. It's on that first page that I didn't read aloud to you guys and just let you see while I babbled. Okay. Speak with Hyun-Ae. I might finish this. Right. I have... I can't can't breathe. I'm emotional whiplash much. Oh, that's so funny and so relatable. Did you see how many times she changed that, guys? I'm tempted to like do a freeze frame of each one. We'll see if I remember to do that in editing, just so you don't have to pause each time, but I might make you pause each time. But that was oh, emotional whiplash. Yeah, you know how I just told you how my family held me down and cut out my tongue, which you kind of suspected and then thought wouldn't work? Yeah, now that's over, I love you. Oh my god, I can't. My emotions, my heart. I'm gonna have to go to work after this and look and act like a normal person who hasn't just been wrecked by a video game. Ah, jeez. And yes, I'm still mad about the spelling of jeez. I'm in love with you. I finally said it. Ah, this is so embarrassing. I kind of already knew. I know, I'm being really silly, right? I mean, geez, I'm sure I know what you're thinking, right? You think that's ridiculous? Not at all. No. You were once a person, and I like to think I'm suave and charming. Pfft. You don't? Oh, that's why. That's why I'm in love. Because you manage to happily surprise me every time. I never thought I would find someone who understands me. Someone who listens, who would hear my whole life story and doesn't hate me. You really have been wonderful. I know. It's a lot to spring on someone just like that. And I don't even know if you're even a man or the sort of woman who wouldn't have a problem with that and still unmarried. You know, a mute thought to ask those questions, Hyun-Ae. Oh, why didn't you? But if you are, do you think we might have a chance together? Even a chance? Sure, you haven't murdered me yet. That is truly the most amazing thing I've ever heard in my life. Thank you so much. I've been sort of thinking about this for a while. It's a little embarrassing, I know, but well, we don't have to rush to get married or anything. Can you even get married? You're an AI. I mean, you know how scary it was the last time I was a wife. I'd really just like to just be with you as an equal. Does that sound right to you? Of course. Wonderful. I really do. I really do love you. I can't take any of this seriously. I had to wall off my heart from the last bit. It's funny, isn't it? I know almost nothing about you. I have no idea what you look like. I have no idea how you talk. I have no idea what's supposed to be the most important thing about a person if you're a man or a woman. That's not the most important thing. I have no idea how old you are, although I suppose you must be much younger. But I'm Dutch. Play the laugh track. Or maybe older, depending on how you look at it. Nor do I have any idea where you're from, or even your name. I regret everything. It's a family name. But I know that you take me seriously, that you understand me, that you don't treat me as something less just for being a woman, or I've been clicking buttons at random this whole time. I know that talking makes me feel better than I've ever felt in my life, and that's good enough for me. That's far better than I've ever had. So, very well, I'll decompile myself now. That way you can just drop to terminal and type download to copy everything to your ship, including myself. It should only take a few days to do a complete transfer. I'll see you soon, alright? So this is how my sister-in-law felt on her wedding night. How sweet! You only hated her. Download Hyun-Ae in addition to logs. Yes. Receiving files. Estimated download time 3 days, 24 hours, and okay. It's just gonna fade out, is it? It would be hilarious if the backup power ran out halfway through that and she got corrupted. I have a soda. And this thing. What does those say? I cannot read the post-its. Are those names and caps and things? Story and code, Christine Love. Well, I don't love you. Original soundtrack. Isaac. I'm not going to try to say that. Editing. Incoming message. She's so nice. Good work on recovering the manga files. I just spoke to a sponsor representative on the audio. You sound really pleased with what you delivered. I've credited your account with the standard payment. Listen, I've got another job lined up for you. It's on Earth. Oh, I was still reading that. It's about a man whose wife has blank. I was still reading that. Thank you, playtesters. Yeah, sure. Korean translation. Lots of playtesting. White rabbit font. Special thanks to blah, blah, blah. Ending 2, completion rate this time 78, total completion rate 78. Thanks for playing. I probably could have gone back and read more for greater completion rate, because I did have a lot of things that I left unread, but don't really care. I got several achievements from that, like I got an achievement progress, Deep Space Detective, and then I got Korean Fusion. Woo, bonus content. Huh. The former bride falls in love for the first time. Ah, I got these, the endings. And tablet, ghetto computer, small spaceship cockpit, Hyun-Ae romantic and uncut version. Ooh, I get to see, I'm sorry, I'm not near the mic at all. I get to see what the little post-it said. Smith, Sang-young. Are those like little drawing things? Cool. Cool. I get to see the ending again. Cool. Just the art. Hyun-Ae leaves home in the care of a new friend. The fact that it tells me these grayed out, kind of sad, but okay. The investigator leaves alone. The security program is relieved of her duties. Harem ending. Okay. So we're just gonna go to the latest one that I did. And I'm gonna speed through to... Oh, I didn't save far enough. Darn. I want to see if I can leave her behind and leave alone. But that seems like an awful lot of effort I don't have time for. Oh, well, I was gonna, but I didn't. That's gonna mark the... I'm sorry. I can't go right into the outro. My brain. It is broken. I sure hope she doesn't go on any other murderous sprees when she's with me, but I'm sure that won't happen. She holds no more grudges. Also, what maid wears boots like that? Huh, Hyun-Ae? This was an incredible story that really I should read more of the logs because I'm so into this. Truly, I am. I didn't expect to go through it this quickly, and honestly, I have more time to record. We'll see if I don't try to go through for a mute ending and add that to the annual blast of cast. But as it stands, unless I edit in something otherwise when I edit it, or you come back tomorrow and see another video, this is going to be the last episode of Annual Blast for Cass. For those of you who stuck through it, I will update you a little bit on what's been going on. My current situation doesn't really allow me regular uploads or regular recording time, but I still wanted to do this. And I'm still very grateful for anybody who's hanging around this channel. I hope to come back before the next annual Blast of Cass. But, who knows? Who knows what things will do? That's gonna mark the end of my turn. Let me just cast the controller on back to you and hope you pass along again soon. Bye-bye, guys, and thanks for watching. I'll ABC you next time.